Well, with the shifting landscape, I think it could be pretty different out there for candidates, especially in the tech sector over the next year or two, where I think candidates and highly sought after candidates have gotten a little fat and happy. I mean, companies pursuing them left and right, these exorbitant salaries in order to get people on board. And it feels like that's going to shift a little bit, at least for a while. What do you think candidates can and should do to set themselves apart from people with similar backgrounds to them to try and land these coveted positions?
I think you hit the nail on the head that, it's this leverage pendulum that it was in favor of the employee or the candidate for, at least in the tech space, which is what I'll speak to mostly here because that's what I know. But there was more demand for talent to be in a company. So I think like you hit on it, that pendulum might be swinging a little bit. You're already seeing companies either offer a little bit less money or a little less of a benefits package as they had to during the prime days of tech. They're forcing kind of this back to office type strategy, among other measures. But to differentiate yourself, I think that's always been the trick in recruiting, hiring, interviewing, but you just might have a little less leverage than you did before. So if you are going up against candidates that have a similar resume to you, the measures you can take to kind of differentiate yourself from them in the interviews is very research heavy. It's very probably leans more on your intangible skill set or your personality. I'm a big research guy. I don't meet with anybody without stalking their LinkedIn profile and Googling them and trying to understand where they went to college, how they got to where they are in their career. I think those are little things that can move the needle because at the end of the day, when you're interviewing, it is people with people. At least right now, you're not interviewing with robots. You don't need to give the robotics perfect answer to certain questions. You need to understand who your audience is. And if that's a hiring manager, if it's a C-level executive, you need to understand who they are, what they do every day, and trying to understand with the role you're interviewing for, how can you ask the right types of questions that person would be kind of impressed by, and or you try to make the non-work personal connection of, I saw you went to the University of Chicago. We used to play them in basketball when I played college basketball, and get the conversation going that way. Because you find hiring managers that want to hire the perfect worker, and then you have hiring managers that want to hire the person they can have a beer with. And whether one's right or wrong, and certainly there's a middle ground, but I think you kind of want to identify that when you're interviewing, and I think that can help set you apart from the 5 other people that might have the same experience as you.